You are now listening to The Couch on 24/7 Miami with your hosts, Chubby Dubby, Clem December,
December, it's Clem time.
and your boy Coleman.
Coleman, I had the most absurd nightmare. I was poor and no one liked me.
Let's go. We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Ho, 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 ho.
We hitting the club with Santa.
Ho, ho, ho. The couch is here. It's the holiday special Thursday
Merry
edition.
Christmas. Happy holidays.
So it's the-
We missed everybody Tuesday.
So it's the holiday special, Thursday special,
Christmas
special, Hanukkah special.
Yeah, no. Holiday special.
Holiday, yeah, let's
special.
be-
Let's be
yes.
real here.
Yes. So yeah, couch on. We're not on 24/7 Miami.
Not tonight, but you
Not
can usually
tonight.
catch us on Tuesdays on 247 Miami.
And our YouTube is the couch, and links are available on our Twitter, which is at the couch_Miami. Also on Instagram at the couch radio. So we got some good stuff tonight.
Great stuff.
W's here, Coleman's here, I'm here, whole gang's here.
Oh, okay.
Hello, everyone.
So
Did you do all your Christmas shopping?
yes,
I love Amazon Prime.
good.
How about you, Coleman?
Yes, I did.
All right.
Good.
Well, that's
Good
enough
job.
of that.
Okay, so
Next.
it is obviously bowl season, and we are the bowls are going.
Yeah.
We've
all
already
the
got the
bowls.
Miami Beach Bowl. We got the Belk Bowl coming up, but what is not coming up is some big name players playing in those bowl games,
Oh,
right? And we got some feelings around here about that.
we definitely do.
Christian McCaffrey of Stanford not playing in the Sun Bowl. Also in the Sun Bowl. Sun Bowl took another hit today. Elijah Hood, the UNC running back, is going to sit out that game.
Oh, no.
And then also Leonard Fournette of LSU is sitting out the Buffalo Wild Wings Citrus Bowl.
Oh, can't wait to catch that one.
Now, I mean, this story has been going on for like a week now, so a lot of people have been talking about it.
Right.
But I mean, if we're gonna have this conversation, I am so anti these players sitting out of these games.
Wait, you know what? Before you let's hear Coleman's take, because I think Coleman's the only one that kind of disagrees in this whole
Well, no.
situation.
Coleman, I feel like Coleman has most people on TV and radio are saying they're fine with what the kids are doing.
Well,
I mean, you've got Trevor Maddich is like.
I haven't even listened to be honest with you, I haven't listened to anybody's opinion on this because I really don't care what anybody else's opinion is.
According to Trevor Maddich, like players can't do anything right. Like if you have a hurt, like a broken finger and you don't play, Trevor Maddich is like, why aren't you playing? But the reason, like, okay, I get it, man. The money, the insurance, like you don't want to get hurt in your last game. But Christian McCaffrey, 5 games ago when Stanford was pretty much not going to make a big bowl or the college football playoff, why didn't you decide to sit out then? Why do you play all the games and then sit out the only game that you might actually have the rest of the country watching you play?
Right.
Like no one watches Christian McCaffrey play on the West Coast at midnight every Saturday night. And at least you could have gotten some people to watch you play. Maybe there's a lot of young kids out there that kind of like would want to see you play. But mainly
the sponsors that are sponsoring this bowl, I mean, they're taking a big hit, especially with that game where McCaffrey
and the other kid out now,
Hood, aren't playing. I mean, they're taking a huge hit. I don't think they're liking what's going on.
In the future, you could have sponsors or these bowls that are planning on which teams to invite. Now, what if next year,
teams stop getting invited.
Right, or like going into this year, if a bowl knows Christian McCaffrey might not play, are they going to invite Stanford? I mean, they might not. And then, I mean, Stanford's going to get in a bowl. I mean, they'd have to play somewhere, but I don't like it. And these guys need to help their stock too. I can ramble all day. I know you guys want to get some words in.
If they're doing it now, okay, what's going to stop them from doing it in the future? Just this sense of selfishness. I'm not for them sitting out. Look, man, I'm a freaking athlete, all right? We all played sports when we were young, right? And dude, I mean, I play into the when we were young. It plays into the dude. This is a team. These are your brothers. You know, as cliche as it sounds.
That's not what I care about.
Well, I don't care, dude. Well, I'm there, and you're in the locker room with those guys, and you're out there battling every weekend with those guys, and this is your last one. Dude, you got to go out, man. You got to go out and you got to battle it out, and
especially when those guys want to win that game.
What's to say that he goes to go check his mail, crosses the street, and gets hit by a bus? That can happen too.
I mean, just pure and utter ridiculousness.
Why?
He's going to go get hit by a bus.
You don't know that.
Of course, you don't know anything, but there's a thing called risk management, okay? So, and I understand, yes, an asteroid can hit the Earth at any moment, and we could all be out of everything.
That's not stopping us from living our lives.
Exactly, but guess what? He's not living his life by playing in the Buffalo Wild Wings Citrus Bowl, and I'm sorry. Ooh, sorry, Buffalo Wild Wings. You know, you're potentially going to lose a little bit of money on a game that, hey, guess what? A lot of people probably aren't going to watch it anyways. I mean, a lot of people casually watch it because there's viewership. Nobody cares about these bowls for the most part, unless it's the team that they're playing for. You tell me that you really care about the outcome of.
No.
Okay,
that's going to be a good football game.
That's going to be on my TV.
That's a good football game if Leonard Fournette plays in it.
It might be, and that's also an opinion.
And I'd want to watch it if he was playing on.
And there are instances. There was one that happened last year in the Fiesta Bowl. Notre Dame linebacker Jalen Smith suffered a knee injury in which he tore ligaments. He fell from the first round to the second round and missed out on millions.
And he came out and said he'd play in that game again.
Of course, I'm sure that he would have.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you. Money away if he wants to. He doesn't have to.
Flush the money away.
Yes, because this is guaranteed money that they're missing out on tens of millions of dollars. What if he never signs another contract in the NFL? The average NFL life expectancy is 3 years.
What if this kid blows his knee out on the combine? Then what? Don't do the combine? Don't run the 40? Don't exploit your talents? This is film that these scouts are getting on.
Not tackle football. It's running,
Not all injuries have to do with contact, Coleman.
It's about managing risk, and if these players choose to do so, it's also about being like, how about just human decisions? Like, hey, guess what? I don't want to do it.
Sure, I can walk out naked if I want to, and I got to deal with the consequences.
Exactly, and so they have to deal with whatever the consequences are that come with this. I see this as a non-team thing, and they end up not drafting them or whatever, or not drafting them as high.
They can suffer the same way.
Exactly, just like you're going to get arrested if you take your clothes out and go outside.
I don't think teams are going to use this as a red flag per se. I just don't.
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? Think about, it's a championship game. We're going to go to a playoff game. And what, this kid isn't going to play because,
I don't think NFL teams fear Christian McCaffrey sitting out of an NFL game.
Well, I don't even know how long his lifespan in the NFL is going to be.
And you can't do that
that's
in the
not,
NFL.
You're not going to sit out a game in the NFL. They're not worried about that. I don't know. There's really no red flags as far as a team drafting a player. There's no red flags from sitting out this bowl game. I just don't like it. I don't think who are you, Christian McCaffrey? You're not a surefire.
You're making yourself bigger than the school. You're making yourself bigger than the teams that are playing.
Well, guess what? I ride for me. Born alone, die alone. And guess what? You know who all those players, like all 80 of them, when he doesn't have any more money left, because
so why not play golf? Why not play an individual sport where it all is on you, not on a team? Because guess what? His offensive linemen aren't thinking, it's all about me when I'm blocking and opening up these holes for Christian McCaffrey to run through.
Some of them are.
He should. They should.
Listen, you are
selfish players.
They don't give a contract to the whole entire LSU team. They don't give a whole entire contract to all of Stanford. You don't get to take your buddies with you to the NFL team, to your career, for the job that you've been working for your entire life, potentially.
Christian McCaffrey's not a surefire top 10 pick. Has he even scored I don't know. I know at least 6 games into this season, Christian McCaffrey in his career, even though he was a Heisman finalist last year, hadn't scored a rushing touchdown in a true road game. Like there was this weird stat where people were like, "Oh, is he even that good or whatever?" Leonard Fournette,
What's he really
underwhelming season. Like these guys are guys who I feel like could better their stock by getting one more of game tape. And not only is it one more game tape,
Leonard Fournette because they haven't seen him.
Not only is it one more game tape, but it's the most recent game tape, which is always the most important, is the most recent game tape.
And I don't even disagree with your take, but it's not your decision, and it's not your decision what they do.
It's none of our
It's
decisions.
his decision.
And
You guys can disagree with it.
We're not
exactly.
We're not making. We're not trying.
I'm not saying not to.
Word,
yes, opinionate. That's not a word.
We're not trying to make his decision for him. We're just talking about his decision.
I think his decision's stupid.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
it's stupid.
I don't think so. I
Christian
think it's
McCaffrey,
his choice.
No,
and
you
he
know
can do
what?
it if he wants.
No, you know what's a red flag? You know what's a red flag? The fact that Leonard Fournette wears braces. Immature. Didn't make good decisions as a younger person to get braces as a child when everyone gets braces.
That might fall on the parents.
So I'm going to go red flag for braces before sitting out the bowl game, team, selfishness, whatever. I'm going biggest red flag is Leonard Fournette wears braces.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty serious.
Red flag. Red flag for Christian McCaffrey. He was a child star, and they always fizzle out. Yes, there's a video that went viral many years ago of like a Pop Warner kid running for a touchdown against like mascots in this like youth kids versus mascots like halftime competition at some game.
Right.
And like a 6-year-old Christian McCaffrey took like a reverse to the house and the video went viral. And now like 10 years later, he's here. And so red flag for Christian McCaffrey. He was a child star and that's never good.
What about, okay, who is it? Is it Herman, the coach for Houston, who is leaving for somewhere else?
Yes.
And is not coaching his bowl game?
Right.
Is that okay?
That's his job.
What?
I mean, it's different when you get paid for things.
They're about to be paid for things, and that's why they're sitting out.
Also, Western Kentucky's coach didn't coach in the Miami Beach Bowl.
I don't know.
Why? I'm not saying I agree.
Corporation.
I'm not saying that I agree with that either. I think they're dirtbags. I think they should be with their kids.
No, you just said it's because it's their job.
Right. Well, you asked me why.
You changed
you didn't.
changed your mind.
No, hold on. No, you didn't say why.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Right, so
your opinion's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're stupid.
You're stupid.
Okay.
Well,
tonight the Miami Heat.
Yeah. So the Miami Heat, they're retiring Big Aristotle's
Seamless segue
number today, right? And obviously, it's the number 32 won't ever be worn by another Heat player in the rest of the history of the Miami Heat. Now, I brought this up when we were getting ready for the show because I thought it was interesting, the fact that, what do you think when you think Shaq? I mean, a lot of people, it's crazy to me how uninterested, what was it that I said? Matthew?
Unemotionally attached?
Right. No, it's how non-important this important moment is, right? Is that what I said? That's how I made it sense. That's how it made sense in my own head. Because it doesn't really seem like this city had a true emotional attachment. Although Shaquille O'Neal, aka the Big Diesel, aka the Big Aristotle, aka Shaq Daddy, played 4 seasons with the Heat and also delivered on bringing the Miami Heat franchise its first championship, kind of changing and altering the culture. He did so in the NBA in general when he came into the league because of his athleticism. Believe it or not, Shaq was quick at one point, and he was, I wouldn't say, I mean, he's not like how these big men are now with Karl Anthony Towns shooting threes, Boogie Cousins going 5 for 8 from the 3-point line. But Shaq did have a nice little 12-foot jumper. He, and he was quick, and his size was just something that made him a complete freak. So I think not only did he change, historically, he's a big player. He's a player that's historically changed the game of basketball. But I think he changed our franchise around to a winning franchise. With the help, I mean, I'm not saying that he was the best player on that Heat championship because it was clearly a young D Wade that kind of led us through. But Shaq played a big part in that.
And it had a lot of, especially that season, the championship season of 2006.
Right.
a lot of the finals had a lot to do with, and the Eastern Conference Finals had a lot to do with the fact that they had to double team.
They had to double team Shaq.
Had to do it.
Dwayne
Which
Wade,
Avery Johnson has no job because of it now.
Right, and so that's what allowed Dwayne Wade to basically
is
just
that one.
continue. Yeah, it's 100% why.
Oh,
I don't
the
know.
reason why.
I think he coached after that.
We did the research on that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what allowed Dwayne Wade to basically continue to go neck first at the rim and draw fouls for every game of the Maverick series.
Right. I mean, Shaq was he averaged what through his career with the Miami Heat. I mean, he played ball, man.
And I think the reason why Heat fans are kind of detached from Shaq is it all happened so quick. He won in his second year, and by year 4, it was like kind of a dirty breakup.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like it got kind of when Shaq was traded to, was it Phoenix?
Yeah, it was Phoenix, and he initially wanted to go to Dallas. He was setting himself up to go to Dallas.
It was kind of not an easy breakup, and so I think why, like you said, Miami is not as attached to Shaq as some of our other players is because it was so quick and it kind of broke up dirty. You mentioned there's other players in when I think first and foremost, you're going Wade, you're going Zoe, you're going Tim Hardaway, but then UD.
I put UD up there.
But then after
There's
that,
no doubt.
But then after that, it's Jamal Mashburn, PJ Brown, Shane Battier. Shaq is way down there.
Ronnie Cycli,
baby. He's our first draft pick, right?
Yeah.
So Shaq's way down there when you think of like
I don't know about under Shane Battier and things like that. You say Shane Battier because it's more recent as of the the big 3.
That has something to do with it too, but also like when you think of Shaquille O'Neal's career,
you think about the Lakers.
Exactly.
And the Magic.
Right. But you think about where he did his most dominance and where he won the most is with the Lakers.
That's because I was young, but we were already watching basketball when we got to see him play with Penny Hardaway, right? Like I used to love, I was a big Penny Hardaway fan, so I used to love those Orlando Magic teams, Horace Grant and all that stuff, right? Really random. But these millennials now, they think about Shaq. Obviously, they think Lakers, but it's impossible for the second team not to be the Miami Heat because that's the only other team he really won championships.
I think so. I just think that's part of why it's not that big of a deal. And I think also with Pat's sort of acumen for retiring jerseys, maybe sort of like haphazardly, like jersey is hanging up in the rafters. Yeah. Dan Marino's jersey is hanging up in the rafters. It's like, he likes to retire jersey.
He likes banners.
Like Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. One of those. I mean, is he retired in everywhere? Or no, right?
No, there's players that wear 23.
But Michael Jordan is retired in more than just the Heat and Bulls arena.
Yeah.
There's a few of them,
right.
But it's not like Jackie Robinson where he's retired across the league.
Right. Which is actually pretty cool. But I would think, without a doubt, I would have thought, players, there's no doubt. There could have been a doubt with me thinking like, hey, will Shaq get his number retired one day? I mean, we know the likes of Mike Miller aren't going to get his, jersey retired, things like that. But definitely, a name that stands out for me is UD. Like UD, without a doubt.
Oh, he's going up.
I mean, he's got to go up.
UD might get like a smaller statue somewhere.
Yeah.
He should get a statue.
I think so.
I think so too.
They're going to put Wade's going to get a statue.
It's not going to be the size of Wade's statue.
What do you think the Wade statue is going to be? I think it's going to be him standing on that announcer's table and saying, yo, this is my house.
Yeah, or like in the middle of a Euro step.
True. That'd be a pretty cool statue. Or when he used to do his little warm. Wow, we're like nostalgic right now. When he used to do his little pull-ups on the rim.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
Miss you, Dwayne.
Okay,
yeah, we love you 3.
All right, we got plenty more segments and more stuff coming up after the break.
Welcome back to the couch on 24/7 Miami.
Yeah. So in case, I mean, we're doing our Christmas special today, and you guys are back on the couch. Follow us. Make sure on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at 247_Miami. You guys usually catch us on Tuesday nights live, but today we're doing a little Christmas special, and we got something coming up for you guys. It's brought to you by Now Trending News with a Twist every Monday from 4 to 6 live on 247miamiradio.tv. And guess what time it is, ladies?
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Goodbye, Mama. Now you can have ice cream in heaven. I'll see you tonight when I go to bed in my head movies. But this head movie makes my eyes rain.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Mrs. Claus's favorite segment,
Yes.
Simple Jack.
That's great. We're gonna have Sandy come in and try to beat up Coleman.
Oh, he was here last week. Black Santa Claus. This week, Simple Jack is brought to you courtesy of the Associated Press out of Dunalon, Florida.
I'm in Dunalon a lot.
I think it would
If I
probably
had
go-
to put money on any of us being in Dunalum, Florida, it probably would be Coleman.
Well, it is around Central Florida. I would probably refer to the area as BFE.
No, Dunalum's great town.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a part of the Dunalum Yacht Club.
Love
Yep.
the people.
Anyways, out of Dunalum, a naked burglar was caught attempting to break into a home late last week after he was caught videotaped on security footage. Suspect was seen on the home security footage cutting and breaking a screen door, entering the front porch wearing nothing but his pants wrapped around his arms.
That's great.
The homeowner alerted authorities after hearing the suspect trying to get in the front door. Police arrived on scene and they heard something running around behind the house in the woods. They were able to apprehend the suspect and review the security footage and identify him as the culprit. He was charged with criminal mischief, burglary of an occupied residence, and exposure of sexual organs.
But don't you have to steal something for it to be burglary?
No, all you got to do is break in.
Maybe, I mean, look, this is a little suspect because honestly, it sounds like the guy was just looking for a good time.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a little inebriated. I'm not saying that I have or have not walked around naked.
He wasn't.
before.
Yeah.
Why was he wearing his pants on his arms?
Yeah.
Listen, man, why do we
Why
put
is-
hats on our head?
Why
I
is
mean,
anything?
He should have
Right.
been charged with looking for too good of a time.
That's
That guy
true.
looks like he was looking for a party, bro.
Hey, listen, he was just going against
Maybe he was
societal
just
norms.
lost.
Just because you call it pants doesn't mean he calls it a shirt.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah,
hey,
pants, shirts, tomato.
I think honestly what he was probably doing was like trying to conceal his fingerprints,
Look, let me ask you this.
something
I mean,
like that. You know what I mean? So he's
yeah,
like trying to like,
yeah.
you know,
has the guy?
that works on radio when I'm feeling a screen door
Yeah, that's
that
good
you can't
radio.
see.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Good radio.
It's like air quotes.
But
Yeah.
wait, I mean, maybe he was just lost.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe.
you
I
never
mean, you're
know.
gonna tell me you haven't gotten blacked out drunk in college and just barged into somebody else's and dorm room or apartment and just gone to sleep on their couch?
I've never been blacked out drunk before
Yeah, right,
since I'm 35 years old.
right.
I'm still 35.
That happened last week at a wedding, probably.
No, I went to a bowl game this week, which we'll talk about a little bit later on.
Reluctantly.
All right, so we got kind of a new concept here. I guess we're calling it quick hits,
Quick hits.
one hitters,
One hit
Uh,
Sneaker tokes.
One hitter quitter.
sneaker tokes. All right, so we're gonna just kind of go on a quick rundown, some stories. Last night or the night before, you had Grayson Allen of Duke, who tripped a guy in a basketball game. It's his third incident since the start of last season. He has recently been suspended indefinitely by
Right.
Duke. I'm gonna say, yeah, kid, grow up. It's the Draymond Green thing. Get control of your body. Like the trips are clearly on purpose.
the kid has an issue, and it might be due to some type of emotional instability. Because the way he reacted, was absolutely wild.
And then he was crying post game in the locker room about it.
I mean, it was looking Luke Kuechly-ish, but Luke Kuechly did suffer a pretty nasty concussion, But
my takeaway, obviously, kid's got to get himself under control. I thought it was actually kind of pretty entertaining that he responded the way that he did, freaking out on the bench like that.
He was going nuts, man.
He was cursing at the kid from Elon too, wasn't he? Like right after he did it, because he was like saying that he didn't do anything or something like that.
He was like reacting, like going to the ref, like, "Oh, he grabbed my arm. He grabbed my arm."
Right.
Like,
he clearly, he was doing the sweep from Karate Kid Part 1.
It's an issue if you're trying to go out there and like hurt somebody. Like that's a problem.
You can't kick somebody. Like he wasn't going for anything. This isn't. Like
it was just
there's a lot of controversy with Draymond and the kicking and how it seems like it's a natural motion and like whatever. But this kid, like straight up, especially this one, I'm not going to lie and say that like I watch Duke all the time, but so I don't have the other two.
This guy's your star player, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And he joins the likes of Draymond and Matthew Dellavedova, who's also a dirtbag. But again, these are professionals. Those guys, at least, they're getting money. I mean, this is a kid we're talking about. Right. It's not a good place to start.
Typical Duke stuff.
Not a good place to start.
Typical Duke stuff. I'm surprised Coach Case suspended him for indefinite.
Maybe it wasn't his decision.
Yeah, he probably won't be long.
All right. Next up is security guard on the sideline of the Chargers game playing
Chargers goal,
playing pocket pool 5 minutes from the San Diego Chargers cheerleaders. Old move. I feel like that's the only way to enjoy a Chargers game. So you know what? I can't hate the kid.
No, I mean, I'm not going to be mad at him either, but I wonder how many times he's done that.
And be a little more discreet, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he was yanking.
And I was going to say, from the hand motions, I mean, it looked like he might have been working with something serious, too.
I mean, I don't know.
But more reason to, like, I don't know, dude, like, shift it onto one side of the pants and just, kind of.
Hey, buddy, how about file those away in the spank bank and do that later. Like you're on the field and there's somebody recording you.
Bathroom break. Or he might have some kind of like fetish where it's like exhilarating for him to like get off in public.
You think he finished?
Yeah, dude, he was going at it. Dude, he finished. And respect to the person the person who noticed it on camera, not to be like, hey, what are you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Just like quietly film it, let him finish.
Because I'm fairly certain I would not have had such a calm reaction to seeing that.
If you were like 5 rows up and you see a security guard just yanking it underneath his jacket, God, what a sight! That's awesome.
Speaking of yanking,
I wonder if they talk about it in the break room. Sorry.
Well, what do you mean at the security guard break room?
Sure.
Well, so what ended up happening?
There's no way that kid's employed by Elite anymore.
Oh, they fired him within hours of it, and now what's happened is, I think like San Diego law enforcement is like, maybe we should look into this.
What if he had?
We're gonna look a little bit deeper.
What if he just had an itch?
What do you look deeper into? More security guards that are playing pocket pool on the sidelines?
No, him. Like, hey, I guess we should investigate this.
Oh, this kid.
Do we need to
check his computers?
Arrest him too?
Yeah, see if he's got like kitty porn or something.
Well, I mean, you're not allowed to crank down in public, so that'll be the opening investigation.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's pretty good evidence, that initial video.
Yeah. Speaking of cranking it in public, former Atlanta Falcons running back Jamal Anderson supposedly went into a Georgia gas station late last week and in front of the clerk. He was obviously arrested under suspicion of exposing himself.
Was it to a female or a male?
I did not get that detail.
I used to
gas
use
station
again. These guys.
What do you do? I mean, hey,
it's like a public it's like a fetish. Yeah, it's exhilarating, man. Sometimes yanking it in the confines of your own domain just doesn't do it for you.
But what? I mean, did he need to solidify his fortitude as a male, or
I don't. They didn't. I don't think that he's commented on it. And basically, what they're saying now is that he was still on. He was still on probation for something that happened in 2014. So they're like,
also a sexual deviant situation.
Well, I don't know. But hey, you're gonna get in even more trouble now because you got to go into a gas station and crank it right when you walk in the door.
Well, that's got me curious as to if it was to a male or a female. What's his business?
Well,
his deal?
what's the difference? I mean, it doesn't matter.
Right, I guess
It's okay.
America 2016. It
If
doesn't
it was,
matter.
All right.
Whatever.
You had my most hated, least favorite person in sports, Richard Sherman,
Ooh.
telling a member of the media that he was going to ruin his career if he kept he was asking him questions about Richard Sherman, questioning Pete Carroll's play calling, which already, boom, you're out of line. Richard Sherman's really pissing me off in the last week. He had comments about playing on Thursday, which is like, dude, get over it. Everyone's got to play on Thursday.
I like watching Thursday.
He made the comments about Pete Carroll's play calling, which, you're just a player on the opposite side of the ball. Shut your mouth. And now he tells a reporter he's going to ruin his career, and the reporter says, like, oh, how are you going to do that? And basically, what does Richard Sherman think he's going to get his press pass revoked from everything this guy ever wants to do in his journalistic career? Like, who do you think you are, Richard Sherman?
Look, man, I
hate him.
I'm trying to find the words to try to defend Richard Sherman because I'm not a fan of his like how you are. You're just not a fan of his.
I hate him. No, I'm not. That's an understatement. I hate the guy.
This isn't the first rail session. Yeah.
On Richard Sherman, but again, you're catching this cat in a very emotional state right after a game. He's being asked the same questions. Now, granted, I thought it was unprofessional on his side when the reporter's kind of just doing his job.
Well, no, him telling a reporter he's gonna ruin his career, that was in like a press conference on Tuesday. That was not the post game interview where he called out Pete Carroll.
Right.
That's one thing. Okay, I get that.
Yeah,
but on Tuesday to be asked about that and then to tell a reporter you're gonna ruin his career.
But check this out.
Who do you think you are?
All right, hold on. I'm gonna take it and reference a recent story with Boogie Cousins. So Boogie Cousins had a reporter mention something about a bar fight in New York with his brother that got involved, and obviously he just had a bad history with this one reporter.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that these players do have a relationship with certain reporters, and since then, Richard Sherman, from what I've understood, he has come out and apologized.
He apologized on Twitter.
Of course,
because
he looked like the biggest asshole out there.
Right. Ooh, we're gonna bleep that. Don't worry about it.
But again, you really don't know what happens in that locker room. Richard Sherman clearly has a relationship with this guy, but at the same time, with that said, because it's a local reporter that did that. But I mean, again, it was the reporter's just doing his job.
I don't. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm not a person that hates Richard Sherman, but also like you're never gonna hear like
things that you like to hear.
No. What I was gonna say is like there's something wrong with you if you go to the place like I'll end your career. I'll make sure that you never get a press pass again. You know what I mean? Like just call him a jerk or something. You know what I mean? Like why do you got to stoop to that certain level?
And why do you? And it's like
just say you're gonna punch him.
And exactly. And Richard Sherman, like that comment,
physical violence on
Richard Sherman making that comment shows me that in Richard Sherman's head, he thinks he's better than you. Yeah. Right. In Richard Sherman's head, he's the smartest. He's better than you. Anything he says, go. You can't challenge him. And it's the most arrogant. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like Richard Sherman thinks he's so smart, but he just comes off as a huge D-bag.
Yeah, I don't like the condescension, the I'll end your career. You know, that sort of thing just rubs me the wrong way. Like
condescending.
It shouldn't be in your brain. You know what I mean? Don't tell people to do that. And the Boogie thing, like they have a really long history with that reporter with the Sacramento Bee, and he's even said like personal stuff like DeMarcus Cousins is a cancer and the Kings need to get rid of him, and like he's written story after story after story just blasting DeMarcus, and then a lot of people are questioning whether or not it was crossing the line, whether the guy mentioned his brother, because, hey, guess what? You don't report on DeMarcus Cousins' brother.
Right.
Even if he was involved in a fight, like, you don't have to mention him by name. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a questionable thing. And then, I don't think DeMarcus Cousins apologized, but he did get fined $50,000 for it.
I saw this quote. It was interesting. It said, is publishing things that somebody out there doesn't want published.
True.
Everything else is public relations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like anytime you print something, there's someone out there that's probably not going to be real happy with it.
Yeah. It's just, there's similar topics, but
what helps them in their cases is that they're two all-star players. Right. It would be different if it was Matt Moore.
I threw this in here because it's Thursday, so we didn't do our normal Tuesday show, but I threw the Dolphins in here.
Speaking of Matt Moore,
Miami, Matt Moore was recognized as Offensive Player of the Week.
That's awesome.
Did I not tell you guys last show?
You did.
I told you guys, in Matt Moore, I trust. And granted, it was a bad Jets team, but I mean, he picked them apart. He threw for 4 touchdowns.
Bryce Petty's pretty bad.
I was nervous about the game because we lose that game in New York.
It's one of those that we always drop.
So now it's like second straight week. We're going on the road. We're going back up into the Northeast. We're going to play the Bills. I'm going into it nervous again.
Yeah.
Also because the Bills are a little bit better than the Jets.
But there's a lot of controversy surrounding the Bills right now.
And I think this team's rolling. I think Matt Moore. I told you, man. Matt Moore is ready to go. He's ready to play some good football.
Well, he hasn't played in 3 years. I'd be a little antsy to play too. I mean,
exactly, man.
And you know what?
Pent up.
Right. And the Jets did what they were going to do from the beginning: stop the run, make the quarterback make his throws. And Matt Moore responded. I had heard a radio interview with an ex-NFL player that actually had predicted the fact that, hey, they were like, don't be surprised if Matt Moore has a big day. So when I saw it happen, I thought it was pretty freaking awesome. So I mean, I trust him going in, but now, you still want Tannehill back, right? Like you still want Tannehill.
I don't know.
He jumped off so quick.
You mean like ever again?
Well, I mean, not like ever again, but like, Ryan Tannehill, if, granted, do we hold our own destiny right now? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we went out, and
if we went out, we're in, period.
Right.
There's no scenario that we don't.
Matt Moore plays really well, wins the next 2, gets us in. Turns out Tanny's sprain is not as bad, ready to go for the wild card game. What do?
You've got a problem on your hands.
You got a big problem on your hands.
I don't know what you do.
I'm a big fan of the hot hand. I'm a fan of the hot hand.
I was the fan of the Josh McCown hot hand when he was with the Bears. I'm all in on the Dak Prescott hot hand.
That's a little bit more than a hot hand, brother. That's the future.
So
but I'm a fan of the hot hand.
Let's go, Dolphins. We went out. We're in. Speaking of kind of Dolphins Jets, did you see Sheldon Richardson? I should have got the sound, but in not so many words. On his Snapchat before the Dolphins game last Saturday, he said, "Where the loose girls,
creatures of the night,
where the loose girls at, and
where the hoes at,
and bleep this game." So the Todd Bowles is kind of receiving a lot of heat. We don't have to really rant on this, but Todd Bowles is kind of receiving heat.
I thought it was awesome.
You can't let this go down in your organization. Who's more to blame, Todd Bowles or Sheldon Richardson?
I'm not going to blame the player.
I'm not going to blame the coach.
I'm not going to blame the coach for what the player does on social media. What's he supposed to do? Is he like, you think Todd Bowles has a lot of time to be reviewing all this stuff?
Let's go back to the same conversation we were having about these college kids.
Oh, no.
Grown-ass men, bro. He can do whatever he wants and make a decision whether you think it's right or not. He wanted to know where the hoes were at.
And he will get disciplined if he has to, but it's not the coach's decision.
You've been looking for the hoes from time to time.
Never. It's not the coach's decision, or it's not the coach's responsibility to be monitoring all of his players' Snapchat. Sure, a lot of them probably don't even know what it is.
But
I can hardly work.
Just because I said I wasn't going to blame the player doesn't mean I'm blaming the coach.
But it's a little bit of an indictment on the coach in regards to the culture in the locker room that he lets. Like, clearly Sheldon Richardson does not give a hoot about this game tonight. You know what I mean? And like, when your players don't really care, if they didn't show up to play, it's kind of an indictment on the program you're running.
It happens a lot, though. You know what I mean? They talk about coaches losing teams. A lot of times that's why coaches get fired, because the season goes horrible and the players are like, listen, why?
Todd Bowles doesn't really seem like a hoorah, rah type of dude either. I mean, he kind of looks just quiet.
He's pretty stoic on the sidelines. You know what I mean?
We don't see any emotion. It's not a Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's out there running up and down just like his players, eh?
Yeah, he might be retarded. Todd Bowles, he don't talk much, man.
Yeah, no. No, we gotta hear more from Todd, man.
Well,
gotta get more from Todd, man.
We'll edit that out.
We found Robert, though.
It's okay.
Oh, man.
We found out that, sticking with the NFL, Michael Floyd, the former Arizona Cardinals wide receiver, he He was charged with DUI a couple of weeks ago. Well, it came out that he was going to be getting a super extreme DUI, which I wasn't even sure existed.
Yeah, I heard about there's
Was that the name of it?
The name of it is super extreme DUI.
Is that the name of it?
That
That's
is
the
the-
official charge he got.
That is the charge. Okay,
Super
and the
extreme
reason for
DUI.
this is
Sounds
because
badass.
I mean,
yeah, right.
hey,
I want that on my record.
we'll edit that out. So his BAC, his blood alcohol content, found to be above
Got it.
yeah,
Nailed
got
it. Nailed it.
0.21 within
217.
217, and it's also within 2 hours of operating a vehicle. So that means that they tested the BAC within 2 hours of him, being pulled over, and they found that it was that.
So he could have been more drunk while he was driving. Is what you're saying?
Probably. If he is found guilty of this, which, I mean, he obviously blew or had his blood drawn, so I don't see how he's going to. Well, I mean, maybe he will.
He's not getting away from this one.
A plea
But
deal.
it's 45 days in jail, and it's mandatory.
Mandatory.
A minimum mandatory of 45 days in jail for the super extreme DUI.
Dude, just because of how drunk he was.
That's what it is.
Look, I don't know if you guys saw the video or not.
His eyes were just like,
Dude, he
empty.
was lost. And let me tell you something. Look, I'm not one, whatever. This is a very touchy subject, but I think the police officers really handled it as well as they possibly could. Dude, that guy had no idea why he was getting pulled over. He had the car on. He wouldn't keep his hands on the steering wheel. They were clearly, look, just keep your hands on the steering wheel.
Right.
And he was like, what? Dude, he was so disoriented. It was nuts.
He was blacked all the way out.
If it was one of these, whatever, I'm going to say it, bro. If it was one of these crazy racist cops or whatever the case is, he might have gotten shot because he just wasn't following instructions. So they took him out of the.
he also wasn't making any quick movements or anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was pretty slow. When they took him out of the car, he was just as lost as anyone else. And he's there, like, the cops asking him, like, hey, do you know why you're sitting down, like, right now?
Right.
He was like, yeah. Dude's
Well, according to him, and this is a cautionary tale for all you red wine drinkers out there, he said he only had 2 glasses before that.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what he was drinking, man.
Always. How many beers did you have today? Only
Just a couple.
just 2.
Yeah, I had one a lot earlier.
No, and you know what? And this is kind of going to tie into one of our next hits, which is Joe Mixon.
Well, wait a
Uh-huh.
second. Is this what you have to do to be a New England Patriot? Be a criminal?
No, listen. Okay, this kind of ties in because there's a
David
trend.
Collins is hating himself right
Listen, there's
Yeah.
a
now. He
trend.
goes, I'll take 45 days in jail to be on the Patriots and win a Super Bowl.
Listen, there's a trend that I'm noticing in players getting arrested is that the league or the school, in Joe Mixon's case, like, they take action very quickly
Mhm.
before getting all the evidence. So it's like across sports, you have these situations where, would the Patriots have signed Michael Floyd had they seen this video? Would Oklahoma only have suspended Joe Mixon for 1 year if they had seen this video? It seems like always the video comes out way too late, and then you have to backtrack and question if the institution that reprimanded the player, you always have to backtrack and say, did the institution under punish this person? Because Ray Rice, Michael Floyd, Joe Mixon, all these instances, the video comes out way later and it leaves us backtracking. Did they punish him
But
correctly?
that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that they didn't see it. Just because it came out to the public way later, it's going to be hard for me to believe that the Patriots didn't have all the freaking facts when it comes to what happened with Michael Floyd.
and Joe Mixon
And the
Bob
Ravens had to
Stoops-
have known that, too.
Supposedly, Bob Stoops saw that video 2 years ago
Right.
when he suspended him. And so that's kind of sketchy. Bob Stoops and the president of Oklahoma saw that video.
These guys are playing. These guys are coaching for their jobs, man.
They are.
And if they let this kid go, it's their best player. I mean, I'm not saying it's okay by no means.
No, but that's where they're coming from.
And you look at Joe Paterno, man. Look at Joe Paterno and that whole deal.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was absolutely nuts when you kind of bring that into the mix.
Yeah, but I mean, again, with that's their livelihood and stuff. I mean, it's not okay for.
At all.
You know what I
At
mean?
all.
Like-
No, I completely agree.
I
No.
mean,
All right.
Come on, buddy.
Ethics, man.
That
Like,
was-
ethics, right?
That was quick hits. That was a success. We got W Knows It All coming up and Glass Half Full after the break. All right.
Yeah.
Stay tuned to the couch with W, Clem, and Coleman on 247miami.tv. Back after this.
To the world, or I suppose that's what that was called. Please don't take us off. Don't cease and desist us. Whoever wrote "Joy to the World," whenever
No,
that
it
was
wasn't
written.
called Joy to the World. It was called Hoy to the Hurled.
Joy to the Hurled.
My goodness.
And now we are going to have our second installment of one of my favorite segments. This segment is brought to you by BeastDFS.com, your one-stop shop for daily fantasy analytics. It's critical, valuable, and insightful information necessary when creating daily fantasy lineups in NFL and NBA. Go to BeastDFS.com and download your copy of the Beast Junior for free today. BeastDFS.com. And now, glass half full with poop.
Okay. All right.
Nah, don't call me that.
All right. So, glass half full this week is dedicated to people who just don't stop complaining. People who complain all the time. I'm sick. Oh, I don't feel good. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I don't want to be at work. Like, look, this is your job. You have to be here. Like, none of us want to be here, but like, stop complaining. Like, people who complain all the time, it just like makes me cringe. Like, how? Like, just you got to be more optimistic. Like, you just don't complain all the time.
There are people that are like that too.
I know, and don't interrupt me in the middle of my segment. So
stop complaining.
Yeah, right. I'm literally on a soapbox complaining right now. No, people who complain, can't stand them. But did some research on this. People who complain a lot die sooner.
Okay.
So people,
that's interesting.
They're just negative Nellies.
Yeah, I think it's kind of it's like it's a weeding out process. Kind of you complain a lot, and then the world just takes you out somehow.
Right. Charles Darwin in effect.
Only the strong survive.
Right.
And strong people don't complain, so it makes sense. So that was glass half full.
All right. So can I comment on it now?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. I did the research on it. I know I'm right.
Oh well, I mean, is there a margin of years that
does it matter? Is less life better for you somehow?
Well, it depends. If there's something involved, like if there's a little wager involved.
People who complain's lives don't matter.
I like what you did.
Sorry, we'll edit that out.
All right. Now, boom, rapid fire segments. We got our next segment. It's your boy.
Dubby Dubai knows it all.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Do you know who I am? I don't know how to put this,
but
And
I'm kind of a big deal.
That was stupid.
Was it?
All right. So per usual, it's not easy being me. I do have a tough time knowing everything.
yeah, it's tough.
And so I got some pretty cool ones here for you guys here. Bet you didn't know this. You guys, you're a big movie guy, eh? Coleman,
Yes.
seen Willy Wonka. Isn't that like one of your favorite movies?
Negative.
Okay.
Didn't do
That's-
your research on that one.
Yeah, I didn't do too much research.
I meant
on that.
yes. Go ahead. Ask
Oh,
me.
okay, cool.
Ask me some quotes.
All right. So, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. What's the most famous thing out of Willy Wonka?
The Chocolate Factory.
No. Matt, any
The
guesses?
golden ticket.
Wrong. The Oompa Loompas.
That's subjective.
I don't know about that because everybody remembers those little scary orange things.
No, I remember the golden ticket.
And
Alright.
listen, you asked me if it was my favorite movie, and I said yes. And one of the quotes from that, from Willy Wonka himself, is the Oompa Loompas are not the most famous part of this movie.
That's a quote.
That's a quote, direct quote.
I'm gonna have to do some research.
All right, can you continue?
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, a movie from 1971, was filmed in Munich, Germany. All right, so the producers had a lot of trouble finding enough little people to play Oompa Loompas because the Nazis killed so many of them during World War II.
Oh, it's a nice, uplifting,
Wow.
holiday, Christmassy.
Dubby knows it all.
Debbie knows it all.
Yeah, I mean,
And was it Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory?
No,
or
that makes-
Charlie in the
no, that
Chocolate
makes
Factory?
sense.
no, I'm talking about Willy Wonka and the Chocolate.
That makes sense. In post World War II Germany, there weren't very many people that didn't look like blonde and blue eyes. You know what I mean?
called
Yeah.
the Aryan race.
Yeah, that's called ethnic cleansing.
Joy to the world.
So I don't have scientific facts behind this one, but you know,
What a
you
shocker.
guys, yeah, right. You guys, you know, maybe when you guys were little with grandma, with grandpa, you go out and feed the ducks. You guys ever feed the ducks?
No.
I'm sorry for you.
You
You used to go out there and feed some gators, huh?
I was gonna say no, but I'll change my answer to it's my favorite pastime.
Well, anyways, I used to go out with my grandmother. She used to take me by the lake, and I used to feed the ducks.
Did you feed the ducks Alka-Seltzer?
No, what do you feed ducks, man? Well,
Alka-Seltzer.
no.
Subway.
Anyways, well, you were close. Bread.
Mitch Hedberg joke.
Bread. It's actually unhealthy for ducks to feed them bread. So when you're feeding them, you're actually slowly killing them.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Dub. That's a good one.
You
Once
like
again-
that, eh?
Yeah, hey, people, stop feeding the ducks bread.
Feliz Navidad.
Yes.
Yeah, that was uplifting in the Christmas.
Happy
spirit.
time Christmas carols.
All right. So
You ever been Christmas caroling?
What are you kidding me?
Can we do couch Christmas caroling? I think that'd be fun.
we can sing a Christmas carol at the end of the show.
I sing phenomenal.
All right, yeah,
I'm a
that's
great singer.
definitely what we're doing. Okay,
Mm.
but listen to this. Before the end of the show, we got this. I found this story. So this was a news story. I'm not going to play the whole thing, just the first part that's really funny.
I gotta listen to this one.
A father complained to the school because his kids came home and showed him a picture of the algebra question in class. So this is the algebra question that the teacher posed to their kids it was a middle school, okay?
14-year-old students at Middleburg Heights Junior High School says he was angry when his children showed them a photo they snapped of their algebra lesson from earlier this month. It reads, Tony can send 5 texts and 3 nudes in 19 minutes. He could also send 3 texts and 1 nude in 9 minutes. How long would it take him to send 1 text and 1 nude?
So wait, all right.
Semantics.
So-
It's all semantics.
So yeah, so that's how they're teaching algebra in middle school these days.
You know what? They're piquing the interest of their children.
Can they? I bet the next question was, how many DMs can you slide into in the next 4 minutes?
You should become a teacher. Eh?
Yeah, I mean, my first question was 14-year-olds are still in middle school?
Junior high, yeah, 14-year-olds,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
Really?
freshman
Eighth grade,
year.
bro. How old
Yeah.
are you?
What do you mean? I was 17 when I graduated from high school.
I was 15. I was like 14, 15, going into like 9th grade. That was
Yeah,
like a cool thing to go
you-
to quinces.
You were one of the guys driving around a car. in
Coleman,
freshman football?
listen.
No way, man. I
No.
graduated when I was 18 years old.
Coleman grew up in the part of town where if you had just
On a
like
lap.
a little bit of intelligence, they accelerated your learning. Like in regular society,
That's why he got into FSU, just didn't stay there very long.
yeah,
Mm.
Ended up in UCF, right?
No.
That makes sense, right? Things
Yeah.
are starting to.
but that's funny. Like,
But yeah, what the hell? I mean, what you
Did
had
anybody-
to deviate away from the apples and oranges,
Yeah.
and Johnny drove this far, like questions and
yeah,
say nudes.
and the trains are driving the same distance.
How many kids are asleep when you're talking about apples and oranges? Now you're talking
You
about
talking
nudes.
nudes? Yeah.
Kids are up.
Okay.
I'd be up.
Well, say
I'm
something.
not like the San Diego security guard.
I want to know how many nudes are possibly I can be able to send in 5 minutes.
100%.
You know what I mean? That's kind of
100%.
information that I need.
Well, when I ever have children, I'm going to invite both of you to babysit them.
Uncle Dub and Uncle Poop.
Oh, that dude. We'll take them out to the zoo.
We'll bring him.
Is
We'll bring
the,
him.
is the zoo a name of a strip club down here?
So are we gonna do? Is the couch gonna go Christmas caroling right now, real quick? Are we gonna go Christmas caroling?
Well, I don't know how well I know Christmas songs.
I think you know Jingle Bells.
All right.
All right, ready? We're gonna go Christmas caroling.
Joy.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Over the hills we go,
Dashing all the way, bells on bobtails ring.
I don't know the rest.
Making spirits bright. What fun it is to laugh and sing and sleigh songs tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Yeah, you can tell Matt had a really good childhood because he knows the whole song.
Oh.
Sorry about that, listeners.
No, you know what? I will kill it on the NSYNC Christmas album.
Oh.
Nah, all right. Now we're
That's-
going a little bit different.
NSYNC Christmas album, surefire top 3 Christmas album all time, possibly top 10 just album.
All right, so we're gonna go over our bowl games and how we're doing next week's show. Catch us on Tuesdays. We're live at 247miami.tv, and you can catch us on our YouTube page as well. Link is on the Twitter, on our Twitter and Instagram.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Love you.
Bye.